couple things here. One, we can talk all we want about resiliency, and we've talked about it. All right? I think the coaches do a great job of leading you. All right? I think the captains and leaders lead you. Okay, I'll do my best to try to lead you in a positive way. But that to me is a definition of resiliency, of teamwork, of commitment, of trust in the process. All right? I'm proud as all of you, man. It's a smart play, 26. Okay? Great job.
Everything the game did to us today, we responded, man. And that's going to create some tough people in here, man. We strong, man. Stay mentally strong, man. Let's go. Let's do this. All right, now, let's get it. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Welcome to another edition of the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford. I'm Bob Papa. The Giants will take on the Cowboys on Thursday night. We got a big show lined up for you. Carl Banks will go to the coach's tape with strategy. We'll be joined by Sean O'Hara. But as always, we're joined by the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Daboll. And Coach and Carl, congratulations on the win on Sunday. Can you just talk a little bit about your team's resiliency? Because you probably can't start a game worse than that game started.
It's a true statement. Again, we had a good week of preparation, and you go out there on the first kickoff, and that happens. And then they go ahead and hit a 9 route to score. You're down 7-0. And, we have a message, since we've talked about it in OTAs and training camp, to be resilient. But until it really happens to you, you don't know how you're going to react. So, again, 0-2, you're on the road, you have a tough play early on, and I would say that our players were ready to go. It was the next play mentality. There was a lot of encouragement. There was still good attitude. So I'm proud of the way they responded.
Coach, you talked about the preparation going into this game. And each game you say it's on to the next, right? But you could start to see pieces coming together, right? The offensive line, the passing game, the connection with different receivers. You just start to see that over the process of these 3 games?
Yeah, early part of the season, that's what usually happens, as you know, Banks. Again, each week we've made a little bit of improvement, and that's important. We're going to have to continue to do that. You're still figuring out things of what you do well, what you don't do well, but they're locked in, and it's a close-knit group that have worked extremely hard. And we were close one game, not the other game. I thought we played more of a complementary style of football that. You get up, you allow your pass rushers to rush, you create, a different strategy for the opposing offense versus being down. There's a lot of things that happen, and I thought the defense played very, very well this game.
Just talk a little bit about the team concept of it, because we know about the neighbors above the X's and O's.
Sure.
Wandell's making a big play. Singletary's making plays. Like, everybody was contributing in this.
Yeah, and that's what you need offensively. When the ball comes your way, whether it's the run or the pass, that you go ahead and make the play. And to have those sustained drives, it takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of good execution. So whether you're skipping third downs or have to execute on a third down, but those longer drives that go along the field, you usually need some type of an explosive, whether it's a catch and run or downfield play. But those guys did a good job, I would say, early in, and we missed a couple opportunities in the second half to really put them away. But it was good contributions from everybody involved, and it starts up front. Everything starts up front.
Coach, let's fast forward now to this week's game. Short week, short turnaround, a team that you play them twice every year. When you think about this Dallas defense, pressure, led by Parsons, have they changed much with Zimmer there as far as what they do pressure-wise?
Yeah, I'd say Coach Zimmer has his own style. He's been doing it for a long time. He's been a very good football coach, not just defensive coordinator, head coach for a long time, and he's got good pieces to work with. It'll be a challenging game.
When you look at the Cowboys offense, they've always had talent. Are you noticing any philosophy changes this year in terms of run-pass balance or anything like that? Yeah,
well, they got up, the Cleveland game, and it was a lot to a little at a certain point, and then they were down a lot to New Orleans, and down to Baltimore. Then they come back there in the fourth quarter and storm back. So I'd say each game was a little unique to watch and to really evaluate because of the score differential at a certain point in the game. But Dak's Dak and CD's CD, and they got a strong up front linemen. They got good tight ends. That's why they've been good for a long time.
Coach, one of the things that worked against the Browns last week, especially through the first 3 quarters was their inability to run the ball against your defense. Is that messaging number one this week, to not let the Cowboys get a run game materialized?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're a hard team to defend. They've scored a lot of points here the last few years. They want to run the ball, I know that, but Dak and CD, they're one of the best tandems in the league. So, we're going to have to do a good job of playing team defense, playing good team football. And they've turned the ball over. When they turn the ball over on defense, usually results in winning. It's something we have to do a better job of. And when they don't, other teams have really made it competitive. So that's going to be a huge element to it. And defensively, in the kicking game, they have the best returner in the league. He's unbelievable. It's going to take a total team to go out there and play well and try to accomplish the things we want to accomplish.
And one of the best kickers in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to advance it far to be in field goal range.
No, he can make it. Yeah, they're very, very good on special teams, and it takes all 3 phases. You say that every week, but this is a phase that really excels for them.
Coach, best of luck this week against the Cowboys.
Thanks, guys.
That's the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Daboll. A lot more to come here on the program. When we come back, a recap of the Giants' win against the Browns, plus Sean O'Hara will join us, and Carl Banks with strategy. All that and more here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. Welcome back to the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. The Giants got their first win of the season on Sunday against the Browns. Let's take a look at the game recap. From Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland, Ohio, the New York Football Giants take on the Cleveland Browns. Giants come in 0-2, having lost a heartbreaker last week in Washington. There's a lot on the board here for the Giants to take advantage of.
Well, it is, Bob, but, it really comes down to how the Giants pay attention to detail. They've got to conduct their business, and they should come out okay in this game.
And Gray will field it a yard deep and run it out. The 10, 15, 20, takes on contact at the 25, gets hit, fumbles the football, and Cleveland has recovered it. Watson in a shotgun set, takes the snap, he's back to throw, lobs one down the left side, and the pass into the end zone and caught. Did he get his feet in? Yes, touchdown. Samari Cooper. One play, and Cleveland's on the board.
Another key third down here. Let's see if the Giants can get off the field.
4 down and 7. Watson in trouble. Down he goes. Dexter Lawrence makes the play. Celebrates with Burns.
2nd and 16. Jones back, delivers it over the middle, completes it to Robinson, shakes a tackler in Browns territory, and dumped at the Cleveland 41-yard line. They fake to Singletary. Now they have a screen set up left for Singletary. He gets a block. He's to the 20. He's to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Dives for the pylon. They say he stepped out at the 4-yard line. Handoff Singletary. Darts off the right side toward the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. Devin Singletary powers it in off the right side, and the Giants are an extra point away from tying this game at 7. Shotgun set for Watson. Watson under pressure, gonna get sacked again. And that is Elijah Chapman, the rookie free agent out of SMU, who gets his first career sack on a 3rd and 15. Jones takes the snap back. Deep ball down the left side, looking for Neighbors, and Neighbors took it away from the defender. Was he inbounds? They say yes. Inside the 15, he just threw it up. And Malik Neighbors took it away from Martin Emerson.
Give me that, he said.
Jones back to throw, looks, fires one left corner of the end zone. Neighbors makes a diving catch, but did he get his feet in? Yes, touchdown. Jones threw it high, and Neighbors went up and got it. The rookie's 2nd touchdown in as many weeks. 1st and 10 from the 40. Watson back in, drops straight back in the pocket. Hit by Burns, sack, fumbles, Giants recover it. Brian Burns with the sack, and Elijah Chapman has recovered the fumble. With 1:32 seconds to go in the half. 1st and goal at the 5. Jones back, looks, fires it into the end zone. Touchdown, Neighbors on the skinny post. Jones looked left all the way. Snap back, Neighbors on the skinny post. Watson out of the shotgun set, under pressure, hit by Thibodeau, and he's spun down for another sack.
I think Ojulari's going to get at least credit for half of it, but it's Thibodeau's pressure that got it all going.
Yeah.
4 with 7:50 to go. Giants up 21-15. Another draw, fumbled by Ford. It's loose, and the Giants say they have it. It was a bad exchange between Ford and Watson, and the Giants say they have the football. Do the officials say they do? Yes. Watson out of the shotgun set, fakes the handoff, pumps. He's under pressure. He's going to run. He reaches, and he's not getting the first down. The knee was down before he reached out. Dexter Lawrence saved the day. 4th and 5. Watson back to throw. Fires it over the middle, and it's incomplete. Deonte Banks on the coverage. Giants pitch it for Singletary right. Singletary to the sideline, inside the 40, to the 35, to the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and then he goes down at the 1-yard line. And coaches will come to the middle of the field, shake hands, players shake hands, and the Giants get their first win in their 100th season against a team that they have a lot of history with.
We have much more to come here on the program. Andrew Thomas was wired for sound, plus Sean O'Hara joins us here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.
Jones back, looks, fires it into the end zone. Touchdown, Neighbors. Let's go! Let's go! Turn me out! Stop playing! Great job, buddy!
That is why you are who you are.
Andrew Thomas helped key the Giants to the big victory in Cleveland on Sunday, and it was a tough task dealing with Myles Garrett. As we welcome you back to the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford, time to send it over to Sean O'Hara.
Thanks, Bob. All right, Drew, appreciate the time. Obviously, you know, a great week coming off of a win. You had a great challenge. Myles Garrett, heck of a player, defensive player of the year last year. How does a guy like that make you better?
Physical traits, technique. He's one of the best that's ever played the game. So that's a challenge for a tackle like me, but I embrace it.
From one stud to another, Myles Garrett, now to Micah Parsons.
Right.
Two different kind of rushers. How are they different in what they do and their technique?
Yeah, the first thing I would say is just the size difference, but I would say they're both athletic, and their change of direction is what makes it hard for tackles.
Pass protection wise, how would your pass sets be different for a guy like Micah Parsons out on the edge as opposed to a guy like Myles Garrett? And I'll just stand in here as the rusher, and you can go over kind of pre-snap, you know, what are you doing differently with your footwork or with your hands if you've got a guy like Micah Parsons?
Yeah, so say if I have the slide coming to me, and for people that don't know that, it means the center and the left guard is sliding with me. So basically, I'm going to set it on a 45 angle. I'm trying to set back, but also try to gain some width, trying to widen the pocket, because that's our job as tackle. So for me,
so the slide to you lets you know you got inside help.
I got inside help.
That guard's got your B gap.
Exactly. So for me, I'm thinking always, I'm trying to keep my body, my waist square to the line of scrimmage, and I'm just thinking when the ball snaps, just to get out on that 45 angle and try to make that junction point right around here. I'm trying to stay inside out. Even though I have the slide, I still want to stay inside out, just in case they bring the mic or whatever else is happening.
Right, gotcha.
And it's also about lagging too. We talk about lagging that inside shoulder, because if I'm jumping out there, it's really hard to read it right. So say if I get to the spot, I'm square, and then you go inside, then I can just
now you can
push
power
off
step, and that shuts it off.
Exactly.
And the lagging is you're basically you're blocking like half the man. Right?
Exactly.
You're not trying to cover him up. You're not trying to beat him to that spot. You almost want to give him a one-way go, right? So lagging is, I'm going to invite you to rush up so I can just wash you on by.
Exactly.
All right, so now let's say you get a guy like Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons, and they're hitting the speed rush right now, but they also have the spin. I feel like that is the toughest thing to handle. When you got a guy, you're trying to beat him to that junction point, and then you get there, and then he spins inside.
Right.
How do you beat the spin?
For me, in my mind, I try to, sometimes I anticipate it. Like if I've been getting speed, I know that they have that counter and it's coming. Because if you're just, like I said, if you're just kicking out there and they spin, it's really hard to defeat it.
How do you change your sets so that you can pass off? If you think a twist is coming, what do you do differently?
So the guard's job is to widen that 3-tech to punch him over, and my job is to set with him. Because if I fly out of here and this guy is rushing, now we get picked. We get picked, he comes around, and that's how you get pressure.
So you guys are trying to shut this guy off. Will you trail your inside hand a little bit?
Sometimes you can have a drag hand, or sometimes if you're just square and I'm reading. Because if I'm looking at you, I don't know what this guy's doing. So it's kind of a feel thing. You just have to keep your eyes on the rusher, and he'll tell you the story. If he continues to go upfield, then I just kick out, get hands on him. Or if he stutters and it goes inside, then I'm trying to pull this guy over to stop that twist.
Yeah, all right, protecting each other, protecting our quarterback. Drew, appreciate the time. Good luck against the Cowboys. Hope you get that second win.
Appreciate you.
Still more to come on the program. When we come back, Carl Banks goes to the coach's tape with strategy and our final thoughts. All that and more here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.
Giants football is on the air from high atop Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The Big Blue have lost 4 in a row. Pivotal game for the Giants as they take on the NFC East leading Dallas Cowboys. Romo takes the snap. He's under pressure, avoids the sack. It's tripped up, knocked into the end zone, and it goes down. And that's a safety.
Jason Pierre-Paul, relentless effort there.
And they run the draw. He fumbled the football, and it's picked up by the Giants. Caught it right out of the air.
Who gets it out of there? That
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Romo's back. He's under pressure, and he gets sacked back at the 42-yard line by Jason Pierre-Paul, his second of the game. And now Dan Bailey will try to tie this up with 6 seconds to go. Kick on its way, and it's blocked by the Giants, and it bounds into the end zone and through the back of the end zone, and the Giants will win it. Is it Jason Pierre-Paul? He's done everything else tonight.
What a guy! What a guy!
JPP's blocked field goal in Dallas in 2011 gave the Giants an opportunity to then beat the Cowboys in the regular season finale and win the NFC East. As we welcome you back to the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. Time for strategy as we go to the coach's tape. And Carl, I'm going to start with CeeDee Lamb because this guy has terrorized the Giants over the years.
Yeah, and he's gotten better and better each year, Bob. And you look at his release off the line of scrimmage. If you're close to him, it's not good enough. You're going to have to play him and use some technique. You'll see him on the outside release here. He gives you 2 moves, though. He's going to go run off the line of scrimmage, and then he gives you a little stutter there, just subtle stuff. Now, this is not bad coverage. It's just a great play by CeeDee Lamb. But what he does to create some space, watch, you got a good release here, and then he gives a little stutter mid-route just to create enough space, and he gets it, and the quarterback has a great deal of confidence in him.
Sort of looked a lot like Malik Neighbors against Denzel Ward last week. All right,
now
we're going to watch him in another spot.
This right here, when you look at his short area quickness, this is something that's going to twist a lot of defensive backs up. It's just almost impossible to cover this from a press technique. Cornerback is pressed. Just watch, he does a double move in short area. Boom, boom. I mean, that's just, you've got to be committed to whatever your technique is. If it's inside technique or if it's outside technique, you can't be fooled.
That's pretty awesome stuff. And they can use him in the slot. I mean, they can use him in a lot of different ways, which makes him extremely dangerous. Now, on the other side of the ball, obviously when you have a guy like Micah Parsons, there's a lot of things you can do.
Yeah, last week the Giants played one unicorn. This is another unicorn. Number 11 does so much, but you'll take a look at this, and there's a method to the madness on this particular play. You'll see Micah Parsons just pick his spot, right? You're going to see he just kind of waits around a little bit, gets some attention, waits, then comes back, right? Makes a tackle. Now, this looks like he was just being opportunistic, right? It's like, okay, he's just going to find the quarterback. But if you look at the whole concept of this rush, Bob, it wasn't just him freelancing. You're going to see guys going here, and then he's going to loop around. So it's a designed game, but it's a delayed reaction by Parsons. See here, you got guys here, and he's acting like he's going to come here, but it just opens up the entire middle of the rush lane. He just comes right back around and makes it. Here he is again, and he's not just a pass rusher, Bob. Here he is in the middle going against a guard. 2 guys chip him, he comes right off and makes a tackle.
Yeah, and that's a really good guard in Joe Bitonio that he's going against there. So those are the things that the Giants will have to keep their eye on this week as they take on the Dallas Cowboys. Carl, some final thoughts on this game. What do you think are some of the key matchups?
Well, the key matchup right now is the offensive line versus the defensive concepts, meaning that you have to kind of stay connected as an offensive line, because what they like to do is get you some separation so that their best player can hit a gap and make a play. So that's going to be the challenge, because they do so much defensively, and it's not just one player. They have individuals that can actually wreak havoc.
And obviously we talked about the explosiveness of their passing game. However, they have not run the ball like the Cowboys have run in the past. I think for the Giants, they cannot allow them to get a run game going.
Right. Now, Dallas, they know they can do it either way. If they have to pass 100 times a game, they'll do it, and they have talent. But you don't want to give them that second phase of their offense to get going.
This week's game is presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the New York Giants. Verizon, America's most reliable network. That wraps it up for this week's show. For Carl Banks, Coach Daboll, Sean O'Hara, and our entire crew, I'm Bob Papa. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.